Hi, I'm Dr. George Yancey. Let's share some paradigms. Paradigm share today is household voting, a stupid idea. Yeah, I'll be right up front. I don't like this. As I've been paying attention more and more to certain conservative Christian identity politics groups, and I want to be clear, not all of the Christians who engage in identity politics support high household voting, all right? I don't even know if a majority do, but enough do that it's become a topic of conversation. Household voting is a notion that instead of one person, one vote, it's one household, one vote. Therefore, my household, which consists of my wife, myself, and 3 underage children who cannot vote, instead of us having 2 votes, me and my wife would have to decide on what the vote would be when we vote as a household. I believe the idea behind household voting is that households would vote more conservatively than other people out there. If they vote as a household, we get more votes for a conservative cause. It is a way of trying to gin the system to make sure your side wins. Now, I think this is a horrible idea. It's an utterly horrible idea, and I'm not proud that it comes from Christian circles. Why is it a horrible idea? Look, what this would do, what I think that they would hope to do, is disfranchise women voting. Women tend to vote for progressives more than vote for conservatives. They're more likely to than males, at least. So it would disenfranchise because the expectation is that the household, most likely the male's going to prevail, and so you would have fewer votes for progressives. That's the notion. We want to disenfranchise women from voting, and that's a good idea. Now, in theory, if there's a female-headed household, then that woman has the right to vote. So for a woman to get a right to vote, she has to divorce her husband or separate from her husband. Is that what we want as Christians? To incentivize that? I have heard some talk about not allowing people who are not in households, who are not married, to vote. Good. Let's disenfranchise even more people from voting, because that's very convincing that this idea is a good idea. Before we go on, if discussions like this interest you, please consider subscribing to this channel. Please tell people about it. Please like this video. Now, for household voting to work the way that the people want it to work, they have to somehow take away the rights of women to vote. There is talk, once again, in this circle of conservative Christian identity politics of whether or not women should have the right to vote. So how is this going to work? How are you going to get women to vote for people who are going to take away their right to vote? And not just women, but any guy who cares about women. How do you get all of them to vote for someone who's going to do this? Would this not alienate people from the causes that are linked to conservative Christians? For example, abortion. If the pro-life cause is somehow linked to this household voting, all of a sudden those of us who are pro-life have a harder time convincing people about our cause, not because of any sort of logic, because we look like we're trying to take away women's right to vote. There already is unfounded accusations that we're pro-life because we want to control women, that's our motivation. I assure you, it's not mine. It's not most pro-lifers I've ever talked to. Now we're talking about the right to vote. Is this wise? And if you don't take away the rights of singles to vote, singles tend to vote for Democrats more than do for Republicans compared to married people. So if you don't do that and you have household voting, the 3 single women down the street from me, I'm exaggerating, I'm making this up, but there's 3 single women down the street, they have 3 votes. And let's say that I'm, Mr. Conservative and my household's going to vote for the Republicans against my 1 vote. Does that make sense? So beyond the morality of it, I think it's an immoral practice because the intention is to take away, to disenfranchise women from voting. Besides the immorality of it, it's just a stupid idea because it's going to hurt the conservative groups that want to use it to win elections. This is not a pressing issue. It's not an issue that you're hearing a lot, but there is some murmurings about this. I just want to make this video to help people think about this before they engage in this sort of idea, which is only going to bring grief, in my opinion. Let's do away with this sort of idea of household voting. And if you want people to vote for your party, then why don't you try to have your party listen to others and try to solve their problems? A much healthier way to win political power than disenfranchising half the population. Well, if you enjoyed this, please come back. We can shatter some more paradigms.